This is the book of Barak, also known as Ecclesiasticus, in the Apocrypha, chapter 12, verse 10, and it reads, Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Braketh Yahawah, Braketh Yawashi, Braketh Yahawah, Braketh Yawashi, Braketh Yahawah, Braketh Yawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach well and rule well. Peace and salutation to the Akim, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth, have risked their own lives with the four corners of the earth. And to the awkward listening and learning, Shalom. It's your brother Shema from the Pillars of Benjamin camp. Here with another lesson. And through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bahasham Yawashi, the title will come. But we'll get right into it. You know, a few things we're going to address here. But you see here this article. The U.S. says Russia, after Ukraine's, the U.S. is saying, right, U.S. says Russia is after Ukraine's biolab. Russia claims the U.S. is making bioweapons, right? Right. Once again, the propaganda machine is in full tilt, churning out information, right? Us over here in the Western world is receiving what the Western media wants us to hear and see. And over there in the East, they're receiving something totally different, right? But when it's all said and done, these Edomites, these elites, they are the enemy. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, once again, and it reads, Never trust thine enemy, right? And we know who our enemies are. Psalms 83, right? Beginning with Esau, Edom. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, right? That's how his wickedness is, man. Just like how iron rusts, right? Once iron oxidizes and starts to rust, it doesn't go away, man. It keeps bubbling up, keeps bubbling up. You can't keep up with it, right? And all these media reports are coming out. You know, you have to use the spirit of discernment once again, right? Because there's a lot of propaganda coming out, right? But I wanted to touch on this, right? We know these Edomites are using their witchcraft and their enchantments, and the whole world is enchanted. Right? Doesn't it say the simple? Let's get that. Right? You see these articles all popping up. Right? A lot of propaganda is coming out. Doesn't it say the simple believeth every? Right? You're gonna have to have the eye. In these times, you have to look at things spiritual, man. You know, 2/3 of our people out here, and these heathen nations are gonna drink everything that these media outlets push out. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 15. Right? But us in this truth, Lord willing, the hopeful elect, you know, we're using the spirit of discernment. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 15. The simple believeth every word. Who's the simple? 2/3 of our people. These heathen nations. But the prudent meaning wise. Who's the wise? The elect. But the prudent man looketh well to his going, right? The prudent man is going to analyze and be circumspect and have his spiritual lenses on, right? Right? The whole world is the whole world is drinking the Kool-Aid, right? But at the same time, a lot of information is coming out, right? Let's watch this article, and then Lord willing, we'll attach some more scripture.
Now, the United States has said that it is working with Ukraine to prevent Russia from seizing control of the biological research material in the country, amidst concerns that such items could in fact be used to create bioweapons. And this statement has come after Russia accused the United States of funding biolabs in Ukraine, spending millions of dollars to create bioweapons which could then be deployed. Kremlin has said that the world must know the truth about Ukraine's alleged biowarfare program.
Ни о каком мирном использовании, научных целях во благо мира, развития, конечно, речи не идет. Дело в том, что они финансировались по линии Министерства обороны Соединенных Штатов Америки. Мы исходим из того, что в ближайшее время Министерство обороны Соединенных Штатов Америки, администрация президента США обязаны ознакомить международное сообщество и сделать это официально, а не...
Now, the senior State Department official Victoria Nuland was...
Khan, scriptures came to mind. So we see these Edomite. Hey, there's a lot of information coming out, man. And what do we know from this? We know that bioweapons do exist. We know that. And at some point, someone, we don't know who, but at some point, someone's going to use them, man. Right? Right. We know the plague draweth nigh and are not slack. Right? But we're seeing these elites. We're seeing their politicians tell on each other, man. Job chapter 15, verse 5, and it reads, "For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity." Right. Whose mouth? These Edomites. It's uttering their iniquities, man. Their wickedness. And thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Right? The tongue of the crafty, the subtle, the enchanter. Right? They're using nothing but heavy enchantments right now, man. Verse 6, here's the point. Thine own mouth condemneth thee. Right? These Edomites are talking. Right? We just watched the minister. She's saying the U.S. needs to be accountable and not use talking heads. Right? Job 15, verse 6. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yeah, thine own lips testify against thee. Right? These Edomites are telling on each other, man. Right? And we know at some point, these things are going to wax worse and worse, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 18, verse 17, and it reads, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? Right? And this is Ezra saying to the angel, yo, because he's seeing these visions, right? Right? This also proves reincarnation is real, because he wants to know who's going to deliver him in those days, right? The spirit of Ezra is here on the earth today, right? Who's going to deliver me? That's how horrific the visions he was seeing. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The powers being the rulers. These governments are in fear right now. These elites are in fear, right? The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, right? Famine and plague, tribulation and anguish. These are the times we're entering into, man. Right? But in the meantime, the propaganda machine is churning out all kinds of information.
Directly asked by the US lawmakers if Ukraine had any bioweapons. She replied that Ukraine has biological research facilities and that the United States is concerned that the Russian forces want to gain control of them. Nuland further said that the United States was working with Kiev on how to prevent this from happening. Russia has claimed that there are about 30 labs with incriminating documents which allegedly expose America's operation to develop bioweapons, specifically the plague, anthrax and rabbit fever. Conveniently, Russia has also said that no evidence of stockpiles have been found since Ukraine allegedly destroyed the entire stock last month. Now, the Atlantic Council, a think tank in Washington, has said that Moscow was seeking to justify its invasion by pushing a false narrative that Ukraine is developing dirty bombs and biological weapons. No evidence supporting any of these claims have been found so far.
Khan. So, yeah, the propaganda machine, you know? A lot of information coming out, right? 2nd Ezra 16, verse 37, and it reads, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Right? These things are, it's about, this is the year of the turn up, man. We're going to see things. Scripture say a time like, matter of fact, let's get that, man. In the book of Matthew, chapter 24. Time no never, no ever shall be. Yahawah said this. Matthew chapter 24. Matthew 24 verse 21, red letter. And it reads, for then shall be great tribulation, right? Great tribulations. These are the times that we're about to enter into. Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, right? A time, the times that we are about to experience has never been since the beginning of the world to this time, right? No, nor ever shall be, right? It's going to be the worst time ever on earth, right? And we're watching, we're standing on our watch, praying and watching, praying without ceasing and watching, man. Second Ezra 16 verse 37 once again. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, right? These plagues are drawing nigh, right? I wanted to touch this one right here, right? Because we're getting both spins from the east and the west, right? And this is all a part of their witchcraft, man. Their enchantments. And it's heavy right now. This article came out on involve.com a day ago, yesterday. And the title, watch, we're going to watch a video. Biden administration preemptively, right? They're telling you. They're telling you beforehand. Biden administration preemptively blames Russia for biological attack. They're telling you whatever attack comes as biological, it's Russia that did it. Right? After admitting the U.S. had biolabs in Ukraine. I'm not going to read the article, but we're going to watch this clip. And this clip says Ukraine has biological research facilities, says Undersecretary of State Victoria Nuland. That's this lady right here. Undersecretary of State, right? When asked by Senator Rubio, who's this man right here, if Ukraine has biological or chemical weapons, and says she's worried Russia may get them, but she says she's 100% sure if there's a biological attack, it's Russia, right? These wicked elites are telling you what they're going to do beforehand. Let's watch this.
Well, I only have a minute left. Let me ask you, does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of. So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach.
I'm sure you're aware that the Russian propaganda groups are already putting out there all kinds of information about how they've uncovered a plot by the Ukrainians to release biological weapons in the country and with NATO's coordination. If there's a biological or chemical weapon incident or attack inside of Ukraine, is there any doubt in your mind that 100% it would be the Russians that would be behind it?
There is no doubt in my mind, Senator, and it is classic Russian technique to blame on the other guy what they're planning to do themselves.
Khan, right? A lot of enchantments is going out, man. Let's close out with a scripture, right? And these wicked Edomites, right? They're letting you know beforehand that things are going to pop off. Jeremiah 10, let's close out. Select Jeremiah 49 verse 10. And it reads, and it's the Spirit of the Lord, Yahawah, that is orchestrating this, man. This is his movie. Jeremiah 49 verse 10, and it reads, but I have made Esau bare, right? The Lord, Yahawah, bare meaning to expose. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself, right? all dirt's going to come out on Esau. And he ain't going to be able to hide. Right? All his clandestine measures are going to come out on Esau. His seed is spoiling his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Right? So the Most High is exposing, putting the spirit on these Edomites to expose one another, man. Right? But this development, the propaganda machine, be wary of the propaganda machine, you know, and use the spirit of discernment. Right? Us in this truth, Lord willing, the hopeful elect, we're using the spirit of discernment. We're watching everything with our spiritual lenses on, man. But 2/3 will be deceived. These heathen nations will be deceived. Like if you go into the comment board, man, the Kool-Aid, the Kool-Aid, the enchantments is thick. I pray you're edified. I don't want to stay prayed. I pray without ceasing. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abad, Babal.